What is going on, guys? This is Eric for Atypical Outdoors, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that's swim baits. And one of the biggest questions I get most asked out of anything is, what swim bait should I start using as a new swim bait beginner? Now, I'm going to go over my top 5 swim baits for newbies, and that is hard body swim baits, not soft plastic swim baits. Now, all these baits beside me are baits that's going to be in a decent price range. None of these baits, I believe, are over $35. These baits serve multi-purposes, whether it's top water, weight baits, glad baits, multi-jointed baits. We're going to cover the whole spectrum of these swim baits. Now, guys, just a warning. Before you go out and you purchase all these swim baits, I want to be completely upfront with you guys. When you're fishing swim baits, it may be a point in time where you blank. Blank means skunk catch no fish. I mean, I'm talking like a month straight, and you're like, man, I spent $150 on 5 different baits that Atypical Outdoors recommended, and I'm not catching any fish. Guys, that is the nature of the beast when it comes to swim baits, that you may get skunked, but the opportunity to catch a giant fish is always there. Now, the baits that I do have recommended are baits that are going to be smaller in structure. These baits are not over 7 inches. Once you get into bigger baits, those baits are going to reduce the opportunities for you to catch fish, but the odds for you to catch a giant fish are going to be higher. Now, let's hop into this video. And also, guys, as far as line recommendations, I'm going to say with these baits, every bait on this table behind me can be used with 17-pound tests up until 20-pound tests, maybe 25 if you're fishing from the bank. But more line, the fish can see, more heavier line, and also it may reduce the action of the bait. Now, let's get into these baits. Let's break down everything and explain what they are and give you options if you want to use a different bait that's going to have a similar function. First off, let's start with this. That is a glad bait. The first bait I'm going to recommend for you is the Sneaky Pete. Super cool bait, not too big, not heavy. One of the biggest perks of the Sneaky Pete is that this bait can be fished in moving current. For fishing moving water, rivers, anything like that, creeks, this bait is phenomenal, guys. It doesn't blow out. Now, just a thing about a glad bait is a bait is cut in half, has 2 pieces. It has a glad-like motion. Some glad baits glad in a smaller cutting motion. Some of them have wide glads that can sweep 3 to 4 feet. Now, this bait has a tighter glad, doesn't blow out, and is not super expensive. That's the Sneaky Pete. It's around 7 inches and between 2 and 3 ounces. It also has a rattle that gets fish attention. Glad baits for me work best in clear water. Oh, got him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's decent fish. Hey. Some guys prefer the S-Waver, the 168, also another great bait. Just me, I have had more success and I prefer the Sneaky Pete. Next bait, guys, one of my favorites, gonna be the Trailman. Phenomenal bait. It is my confidence bait. I'm gonna show you this bait. It has no eyes, has hook rash everywhere. This bait has different hooks. They got bent out for catching big fish. I replaced it with different hooks. Guys, this bait is beat. Used to have 2 fins that were the same, has a chip fin. This particular bait has accounted for multiple fish over 8. I caught fish on the bed with this bait. Some guys don't like the bed fish, that's fine. If you bed fish with a swim bait, don't snag them. Also, guys, this bait is phenomenal around bluegill beds. When bluegills start bedding, those big bass move up to eat bluegills after the spawn. My boy D-Wow, man, came through perfectly on the net job, man. Got him on the ego fishing net, man, just in time, guys. We were just talking about big bass around bluegill beds, and it is right over here around all these bluegill beds. Got him on the Trail swim bait. I picked this bait because it's a bluegill profile. Most places in the United States have bluegills. This is one. If I'm gonna recommend you out of 3, I got 5 to show you. Must have the Trail. I would recommend this bait to everybody who asks me about swim bait fishing. Phenomenal bait. They also make a junior, which is slightly smaller. Woo! Almost stuck myself. The next bait, guys, this is going to be a swimmer style swim bait. It's multi-jointed. This is a bait that you cast out and reel back to you. You can do pauses. This is the Limit Lures swim bait. Another replacement you can use is going to be the bull shad. It's slightly more expensive. Cool thing about the Limit Lures is when you cast out and you bring it back and you pause it, it doesn't crumble. So multi-jointed baits are great search baits. You can fish those faster usually than glide baits. So multi-jointed bait, this is going to be a Limit Lures bait. So there you go. Bull shad is another one that you can use. It's a pretty great bait that's not super expensive. All right, guys. These are the fun baits, the baits you get to see bass blow up on. This is going to be the Spro 50 Rat, slightly bigger bait. Oh man, my tail came off. I have to put it back in a second. So rats draw out big fish, phenomenal bait for early in the morning and also near night, and killer at nighttime. This is going to be the Spro 50 Rat. Great bait, has a rattle too, works phenomenal around wood. Think about summertime baits early in the morning around wood. Also creeks, rivers. I have a couple videos of me catching fish on this guy. Super great bait, Spro 50. This is a fun bait to throw, and watch out and be ready for some huge blowups. It also comes in multiple sizes. Spro 50, cool bait, rat bait. Next, guys, now this is a bait right here. The G2 Cell Cracker. It's kind of hard to find every now and then. Phenomenal little bait, guys. For you guys who don't want to jump straight into swim bait fishing and get a dedicated rod and reels, you could probably use this bait with a heavy rod. So this one can be waked on the top of the water column, fishing it very slowly, or you can crank it down and it will actually dive. Phenomenal little bait, guys. Comes in multiple colors. It is a weight bait. You can fish this bait all over the place, guys. This thing gets eaten and is fairly small, guys. So that is my 5 baits, guys. For most of these baits over here, for these baits, you're gonna need a dedicated swim bait setup. But with this style of bait right here, you can actually just use this on a heavy conventional rod and reel. Well, guys, if you have any other comments or suggestions on what you would recommend for a beginning swim baiter, as far as hard baits, put it down below, guys. Also, if you have further questions on rods and reels, put it down below. I'll answer them in the best way that I can for you. Well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. We'll see you pretty soon. If you want to see more of these swim bait videos, let me know down below. You guys take care, tight lines, and we'll see you on another video soon.